what we're going to do now is we're going to teach you guys how to make a basic Amtgard boffer sword, a boffer being a foam padded replica of the real thing. The cores of your weapon can be made out of bamboo, graphite, PVC, or fiberglass. The preferred choice is a fiberglass or carbon graphite golf shaft, like so. This is going to get a little bit loud. First step in making this is to get rid of this big metal head here. So I'm going to come over here. And use the fast way of doing that. Otherwise you have to use a hacksaw, and that's kind of painful. This is going to be where the tip of the sword is, and there's now a nice sharp edge. So I'm going to step outside real quick, and I'm going to rub this angle down on the concrete ground so that it doesn't cut through the foam later. So now, I don't know if you can focus in on the tip of that. The edge is not quite so sharp, but still, if you're going to use a piece of fun noodle for your padding, basically the strike legal padding, if you just left it like that and stuck it inside here, that tip would break through that foam fairly quickly. See, you know, it's going to go through really quickly if you don't do anything else to it. So what we're going to do is start by taking some blue camp pad, get it at Walmart. I'm going to make two real quick small pieces using strapping tape. This is the best stuff because it's got the fiberglass strands through the middle. I hold it on, I fold it over once, and take one piece to go around. Next, I'm going to prep. I'm going to take the second piece and making kind of a cross on the tip, take and hold that down onto the other tape. Now we've got roughly, these are just slightly less than ½ inch thick, so you've got almost an inch worth of padding already covering the tip of this, and at least ½ inch on either side currently. What I'm going to do is, again, take some more tape, lay it down. This just adds stability to the tape. Now, if you see that and the diameter that you're going to be putting it through, it needs to come down a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to torque wrap, coming down, starting on the shaft. This will anchor this blue tip on, and we torque it down to roughly a little bit bigger than the interior diameter of that fun noodle. And that is going to add some stronger foam, because fun noodle, one of the reasons we use it is because it's so friendly and so soft. When getting hit, it doesn't hurt people. It's an open cell. So the next part is I'm going to determine how long of a blade I want. Now, there's three parts to an Amtgard weapon. There's the handle, the pommel that we'll put on later, and then the strike legal surface. The handle right here cannot be more than 12 inches on a short sword. A short sword cannot be more than 36 inches. Now, I take another piece of scrap noodle, drop that on the floor, and I'm going to cut it into a little wafer. Keep figuring where the camera's at. And I'm going to stick it down inside that spot, not compressing, but just sticking it up, if you can see there. And then I'm going to take my steak knife, which is a great thing for foam crafting, and I'm going to trim it off. So now we have 2 layers of this blue. It's still considered an open cell, but it's more of a micro cell, so it doesn't, when it collapses, it doesn't collapse as much. And then we have a plug of fun noodle on top of that. And then I've taken and made a 2.5 inch plug, again using the same camping foam that we used before for the top. This is your standard clear packaging tape. You can use, shipping tape from the post office, from UPS, whatever. I'm going to real quick try not to compress the edges down. You want to keep them nice and flat because the tip needs to stay at 2.5 inches. It can't go, the tip can't pass through a 2.5 inch ring when you're making it. So this is just anchoring that tip down. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting a bevel. This will become apparent why in just a second. I've now got a bevel here. The reason that we want to do this, well, some of these steps here, is that being that fun noodle is an open cell foam, every time you hit, it compresses and the air inside expands with the explosive hit. So that's going to break down the fun noodle cells inside. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to make sure that this fun noodle shaft, or the strike legal area, stays adheres to the shaft. It doesn't go sliding off in mid-swing. So I'm torquing it down, and that's why I put the bevel on, because if you leave the 90 degree on there, you can't bevel it very well. And I'm going to come all the way down onto the shaft, and then reverse and come back up. Hits. This should stay on there until the foam breaks down. Next, we're going to go lengthwise with the tape. Some people make this an arc saw. The less wrinkles you put in it, apparently the better, because then it doesn't allow extra air to get inside. And this step is going to make the fun noodle last much longer than if you failed to do that. So we go around 3 times, each time overlapping the last strip. It's kind of hard to see clear on purple, but we're overlapping each time. Leaving the nice little fun noodle brand sticker attached, because if you rip that sticker off, then it breaks the skin of the fun noodle and can break down faster.
Can you hold that up again? I want to zoom in.
Let me get this piece on there.
Okay. Let's zoom in on that logo.
Fun noodle brand. Now I'm going to take this is the area between the tip, about 6 inches down is what I call the sweet spot. Well, a lot of people call it the sweet spot. I got it from somebody else, a guy in Texas. This is the area of the sword that most generally gets hit, because you want to try to, well, most people naturally try to stay at the furthest range when they're fighting. So that's the area that gets hit the most. So what we're going to do is to add a little extra support after we've gone around lengthwise. We're just going to do a spiral wrap where we're not torquing whatsoever. We don't want to compress the foam. We're just going to go around it, and that's going to keep the tape that's going around here with that explosive force when the core is hitting in and out after every hit. It's going to keep it from breaking down. So I just go around a little bit. Okay. Next part is to do the pommel. What we do there is very similar. Well, actually, if you leave the golf shaft handle left on, you generally don't need to put another blue tip over here, because you don't ever stab anybody with your pommel. So what we're going to do is we're going to force this on to the tip, and I'm going to bring it nice and tight straight to the end, and then do the same thing I did on the other part. This cap, this is a heavier, denser foam. I like to use it because it doesn't break down ever. Come back down.
Hey.
I've got the tape and it's coming all the way down onto the pommel, and then I'm going to start. And on this one, just like I did down here, I'm going to torque that as I go around it. Once I get to the fun section, I start torquing on it. And it takes a little bit of time before you learn how much pressure you can put onto this packaging tape without breaking it. And different brands have different tear weights. So and that's your basic Ultralight. Now, what we would then do is make a cloth cover for it, and we can show you guys how to do that later. Basically just making a big sock that you slide over one side, slide over the other side, and then tape the handles down, doing your, like hockey grip tape, that kind of stuff is what I really like to do.